So we're going to discuss here VSS Monitoring Solution. So we've talked about the ways to go about monitoring the 100 gig networks and the challenges and how to address those from a general perspective. So these are solutions that we have at VSS. Firstly, we have a high-density fiber tap solution, and this allows you to tap up to 24 100 gig single mode links, if that's what you have running. And so you can have a very high density collection of optical taps to, for instance, up to 24 100 gig single mode links. And if you have multi-mode, then you can have up to 16, all in a single one U rack. And you can use that tap now to then, or those multiple taps, to actually feed into one or more network packet brokers to then do the rest of your optimized traffic delivery. So this HD fiber tap is available today, and it's available in all the different flavors that you might need. It is the highest density solution we have on the market today. Now the next device we have is the vBroker 520, and this is really purpose-built for 100 gig networks. It's a single small device that you can rack mount that will handle an entire 100 gig length worth of traffic, and you can forward the traffic out to multiple 40 gigs or 10 gig or even 1 gig ports. So you have full flexibility in this respect. The 40 gig ports can also be broken out to multiple 10 gigs, so they give you a total of 20 10 gigs. So if you've got a total of 200 gigs of traffic coming in through the two 100 gig ports, which represents an entire 100 gig length, you can then spread that entire 200 gigs of load across up to 20 10 gig ports. So this gives you full access and visibility into all the traffic that could be on a single 100 gig link. This particular product was developed based around the CFP technology that was around originally at that time. It also supports obviously QSFP, so they're not 40 gig ports, and SFP plus or SFPs for the 10 gig 1 gig ports. And it does allow you to do the things that you need to do, such as aggregating traffic, obviously from the two 100 gig ports. You can filter the traffic as you need. You can actually balance a load of the traffic across the tools. You can even add port tagging to indicate where the traffic actually came from, which direction it was coming from, and you can also integrate it with other products that we have within the VSS product family or series of products. And this packet broker, as I mentioned, it integrates with the other products that we have in our portfolio. They can all work together as one single true network packet broker system, and we do this through our vMesh architecture. And the vMesh architecture leverages some technology that we have that allows the devices to automatically detect each other and function as one entire system, which means that the user doesn't have to do any configuration between the devices. They just have to say, okay, I want the traffic to come from my point in the network that I'm getting access to, and I want to forward it to a port that is connected to a monitoring device. I don't have to worry about any of the configurations in between because the vMesh architecture will take care of that automatically. And you can develop any type of architecture structure that you might care to want to come up with. You can do hub and spoke, you can do daisy chain, you can do a full mesh, anything in between. It's really up to how you'd like to deploy and how redundant you would like your mesh to be, and also how much bandwidth you need traveling between one point to the next. And we can support up to 256 network packet brokers interconnected, as well as up to 4,092 ingress ports. So that means number of ports connected to access points essentially in the network. And as I was talking about the actual performance, it is an auto-discovery, auto-detect type of architecture. It's got built-in redundancy, and it also allows you to leverage different time synchronization methods as well across the network. And it allows you to do full centralized management through out of the CLI, for instance, that's available with the products, through a web-based GUI, or even a centralized management system that's available. And so really what we're doing with our network packet brokers is we're building up this layer that sits between the actual network that you're getting access to look at the traffic, and then this layer is actually forwarding the traffic across to the different types of network intelligence tools that you may have. Whether it's just as one of the examples I mentioned earlier was the voice over IP analysis tool. It could be just a field data recording device. It could be that something is used for lawful interception collection. There's a number of different types of applications, and so really the VSS network packet broker layer that we put in here using the Mesh technology, in a way is agnostic. So it doesn't really care exactly what the application that is going to be used to do the monitoring. What we do with our products is allows you to define the types of traffic and the form of that traffic that's going to be forwarded to those devices, so that you can make the most efficient and effective use of those tools. Okay. So I'll hand over to Chris to talk a little bit more about VSS as a company, in case you didn't know who we were.
Exactly. And I'll keep it quick. Thank you, Gordon. Just a little bit about VSS. We are a leading network packet broker. We are part of a larger corporation called Danaher, which is a Fortune 200 company that's and fairly diversified, again, test and measurement and other lines of business. Within the Danaher test and measurement platform, we're one of several companies, along with Arbor Networks, and Security Technology Communications, and carrier probe technology, and Flip Networks, or network performance monitoring. Now, VSS specifically, we're here based in Silicon Valley with operations around the world. We've been top 50 fastest growing company in Silicon Valley. And as I mentioned, we were acquired back in 2012 by Danaher, and continue just to grow in 2014 as we take solutions not only oriented toward service providers but enterprises as well. And before I actually get to the last slide, there was something I forgot to do, which was just note that if you do have any questions, we're coming up on our Q&A period. And just use your text window and then text or use the IM chat window and then send it to April Perez, and she will see those, and then we'll go through those questions in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and just thanks, Chris, just before we go on, just so people might be wondering what some of these names are on the left-hand side of the screen. vBroker is actually the series of products that we use for network packet brokering. vProtector is a mode of operation that we have that runs within these vBrokers to allow you to do active inline monitoring. And VNet Connect is a virtualization access product that allows you to direct traffic from a virtualized environment into the network packet brokering infrastructure. And these are all managed by the VSS Management Center, which we call VMC.
All right, thank you, Gordon. And then finally, as we go to market with our network packet broker solutions, we obviously need to be part of a larger ecosystem. So we have partnerships with many companies in many sectors of the industry, service provider-oriented infrastructure, network infrastructure solutions in the security area, deep packet inspection, companies listed there, as well as then on the enterprise side, enterprise security and application and network performance monitoring. And so this, from a customer perspective, when you have the challenge of how do I get traffic from the network infrastructure layer to these performance tools or security systems, you can be rest assured that we're working with the leaders in the space and can work with basically any company out there, I think.
Exactly. Yep.
So why don't we go ahead? We are in the home stretch now. There's two last things on our agenda. One is to answer any questions that may have come up during the presentation. And then also I have a couple of closing notes in terms of next steps. Some information that we're going to provide to attendees of the webinar, and then ways that you can go ahead and interact with us, engage with us. If you need one more information just in terms of the market or technology, or to even connect you with one of our technical sales team to understand how you can deploy our solution. But first, let's take a look and see what questions that we've collected.
Right.
Okay. Do we have the on that?
Does it exist underneath passive tabs? Yeah, so I'll reiterate that.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start Q&A. I think we've got a question here regarding...
looks like we've got a couple of questions. Yeah, thanks, Peter. So one of them was, do we support CFP4 now? As I showed, there was one product that we focused on here that's specifically designed for 100 gig. It supports the CFP today, and that's because of the technology that was available at that particular time. CFPs are easily still available today, so there's no concern about that. We do have another product that we'll be talking about in the webinar tomorrow. That product supports CFP2. CFP2s are easily available now in this part of this year, and so that's what we can consider a release technology. The CFP4, however, is still some way off. It's in some very early versions of the technology at the moment, and we ourselves will support CFP4 later next year, but it's not fully supported in the products today. But once they're fully available, then of course we'll have support for them. The next question was about do 100 gig passive taps exist today? Yeah, I'll go back. Maybe that question came up before I actually presented solutions. But yes, they do. We have this high-density fiber tap that we offer today that allows you to tap into either 100 gig multi-mode, up to 16 in a single 1U rack, or up to 24 single-mode taps in a single rack.
Okay, I have a question here regarding load balancing.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a concept of being, for lack of a better way to put it, flow aware?
Yes, our balancing actually by default is essentially flow aware. You can run it in such a way that it's not flow aware, but flow aware is generally the preferred method to do that, which ensures that you have entire conversations sent to the same monitoring device when you're doing the balancing, so you're not splitting the conversations across devices. Therefore, the analytics tools can do their job more effectively.
All right. I think you alluded to this, but somebody just asked, what are we doing regarding packet slicing?
Yes, right. So that's a good point to bring up. Packet slicing is a key feature for people who either have information in their traffic that they either don't want to receive for whatever reason. It could be for sensitivity of data, like PCI type of reasons. But it could also be because they just don't need to see that part of the traffic, and therefore you can reduce the bandwidth that you send towards your tools. RTP is a perfect example. If you're monitoring voice quality, quite often voice quality monitoring tools don't actually need to see the payload, and the payload represents probably at least 80% of the volume of the traffic in the packets. So if you slice off the payload, then you're dramatically reducing the bandwidth of traffic you're sending to those devices. The unique characteristic about our packet slicing capability is that ours is conditional. In other words, slicing is not just done willy-nilly on every single packet that comes through that particular port. We actually conditionally sort out, okay, what is or identify the actual packet that we want to slice. And once we've identified it, then the slicing rule is applied to that packet that we've identified. And we can specify many different types of identification rules, and therefore different slicing rules to be applied to those different types of packets. And there might have been one more question. What's that one?
How many devices can be in a vMesh and vStack simultaneously?
Yeah, so it's in a single vMesh, utilizing vStack Plus technology, we can have up to 256 as the current maximum. There needs to be some kind of a trade-off based on what types of forwarding rules that you're using when you're sending your traffic. But if you have very simple forwarding rules, then 256 is easily achievable.
All right. Looks like we have gone through our questions, so let's go ahead and close.
Right.
First off, thank you everybody for attending. Apologies for some of the technical glitches. For attending today, you will receive a special report from Enterprise Management Associates, what they call an EMA Impact Brief, that talks about 100 gig visibility solutions. So we will get that out to everybody. Also, if you're looking to do some additional reading on VSS-specific solutions, easiest way to get there is to go to vssmonitoring.com, look at the middle of the home page at the bottom, and click on this little box right here that says dBroker 520 and 6000. And what that will take you to is a little bit of information about the product, but more importantly, the solutions that we provide. Excuse me, the solutions that we provide, and more context around best practices for 40 and 100 gigs. And then finally, if you have a burning question right now, you want to talk to one of our technical specialists, simply create an email, send it to sales@vssmonitoring.com, and to keep it really simple, just type in, help me with 100 gigs in the subject line, and we'll make sure that we can get you the help you need. So again, thank you everybody for joining us today. We did see one question about the recorded version of the session, and we will be able to indeed provide that to folks as well. So if you missed parts of the session or want to view it again just to get some studying on some of the other details, we'll also be providing that as well.
Okay.
So thank you all very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.
And thank you very much for all the questions.